It'll take them approximately about 8 to 10 minutes. When they finish, they'll check their book, and they'll go on to the next station, and that's at the other end of the room, called the work journal station. Nikki, would you show us your book there? This is a work journal book, and he's busy writing words. What words have you written?
Writing, typing, Rebecca.
Vase.
How many times did you do the game?
Snake.
Snake. Good. Cat.
Sun.
Good. And
Fish.
fish. Excellent. And that's what they're busy doing. They're working in the work journal. And again, this will take about 10 minutes until they're finished here. They work in partners. And when they're finished, they will check the back of their book, work journal. They've checked it, and they'll go on to the next station. And that's where we'll go. This is the next station. This is the writing, typing station. The children have a table here to work with crayons and pencils, paper. They have lots of different paper they'll be using. They could write stories, words. They can also sit down, take their disc out of here. This is Mrs. Lynch's bin. And each child will have their separate disc. They'll go, they'll take it out, and they'll put it in the computer. And they can keep their stories. Their stories will be on file. And we have the boys working right over here. How you doing? Lukashin hasn't spoken English yet, and this program is helping him quite a bit with learning his words and spelling the words phonetically. Okay. I'll put that on.
Go ahead. You read.
Okay, this is the tape library station. The children will come into the station and they will sit down, put a tape in, and read a book. They'll be able to go page by page, look at the words, and hear the words on the tape. They like this station. This is a very relaxing station. We have 2 tape recorders, and we have enough, I'd say 4 children can listen to a story at once on the same recorder. The Writing to Read Lab, and we have all the teachers here on top. You can see them here. Miss Sinisi, Mrs. Savage, Mrs. Hoffman, Mrs. Decker, and Mrs. Lynch down the end. And all the stories that the children have done through the year so far are out here.
Thanks, Mary. The Writing to Read program is lab-based, where each class comes to the lab each and every day. This year, Mrs. Decker's first grade class has piloted the TLC program called Stories and More on computers right in their classroom.
Jen's reading.
Okay, but Carrie's reading.
I do
Did
not make a jump. It was to. What can we do now?
What's his problem? Where is he stuck? Up in the tree. What does he need? Help. Who's going to help him? Hey, right. Go ahead. Nice job.
Come on here. You can jump up here.
Computers in the classroom allow the teacher to infuse technology directly into the students' daily curricular activities. In addition to stories and more, students also use other language arts and math software. I'll let Mrs. Decker explain how she has integrated computers into her classroom.
Let's have this page. All right?
I can actually pull it.
Are you going to read for us? Got the page? All right. You on? These girls have read the stories and more. I need a lunchbox. And now they have the hard-covered book, which they can read, right? Did you like the story? What did the little boy need? This is Maria. What do you need? Who was getting the lunchbox? Was he getting a lunchbox, or was his sister getting a lunchbox? His sister, because his sister was going to school. What did he want?
He
A lunchbox. Do you have a page you want to read? Okay, go ahead.
My sister Doris got a brand new lunchbox. I need a lunchbox too, but Mommy said no lunchbox until I start school.
This is a very difficult book, right? But the computer and the Stories and More program walked them through it, helped them learn the vocabulary, helped them learn the outcome of the story, and now they can read a hardcover book. Right? Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Wow, I got a lunchbox too.
And was he happy? How did he feel?
He felt great.
He felt great is right, and I feel great too. Do you? Do you feel great that you can read this book? I do too. Pick another page. Pick another page. You like it?
Last week, Daddy promised us new shoes, brown school shoes for Doris, black sneakers with yellow laces for me.
And you have to remember, these little girls couldn't really read when they came in September, right? Now we've worked very hard. They've worked very hard. Right? Good job, girls. Good job. I don't know how to tell you about this. These children are also working on Stories and More, the Stories and More program, but they're at different levels. These boys are reading a very difficult story. They've worked their way through the program. The program steps them right through the difficulty level. And these boys are well on their way to reading truly, truly first grade work. Right, boys? They also have the hardcover book when they finish the program on the computer, and then they have the hardcover book that they can take home and read with their parents or read in a reading group. Can you show them how this works a little bit? Is there a way to...
Home, Mama, sitting beside me. You held my hand all the way, but I did not sleep. I was afraid.
That's it. The computer now in the Stories and More will read the story to them as the child reads along silently. However, you can also highlight a word that the child might not know. He can read by himself. You took me home, Mama, sitting. He might not know the word beside, so he can click on,
Beside.
and the computer will read just that word. And what we've tried to do is have the children go through the story, having the computer read it, and they're reading along, and then go back and read it again, and just highlight the word that they might not know. And it has been excellent practice, excellent. They enjoy it, they have a good time, and they can work at their own pace. And it has been truly, truly, truly an excellent addition to our program. Okay, boys, thanks a lot. These girls are reading another story, Marvin's Mouse House Mess. And again, they're reading at their own level. These children are working through the program, starting off with the Little Red Hen, and working their way up to probably a reading level of end of second grade. And it's just been an excellent program for them. These boys have been real busy. They've gotten 176 problems right. Now, of course, they're sharing here. One does one, and then Mike turn around. Joey, turn around. Mike will do one, and Joey will do another. But they absolutely just work right through the program. There's no hesitation on it, and it's excellent practice. There's also a geometry program on here. There's subtraction. There's double-digit addition and subtraction. It just goes the gamut of all levels, and every child can find their own level to work at. And we have, at the end of the day, the computer will print out what they've accomplished. We send that home to Mom and Dad so they can see what they've done. Some parents have come in to look at exactly what goes on, what the child learns, what the child works on, so that they're more familiar with, like this is subject addition, 25 correct, a score of 100%. And so some of the parents have come in to see exactly what that means, how difficult the level is, and so forth. The program, the material that's on the computer, that's available to the children and available to me, has made the enrichment part of the class excellent, and children who need a little more help an excellent add-in for them. And it has, I don't know what I could do without it. I really don't know how I could do 26 first graders without this program. This is Taylor, and Taylor has written a story on using the computer, and she wrote it by herself, and we edited it, and now she's going to read it to you. Now, Taylor has written this story all by herself, right? Okay, now she's going to read it to you.
I have a fish tank in my room. They are plants and a big rock that Daddy found and a lot of fish. My little brother Kevin, he goes in the fish tank. I always catch him. I yell, no, Kevin. He runs away with the stool. My fish are safe.
The TLC concept is continued in second grade with the Writing to Write program. Writing to Write combines the activity-centered approach used in the Writing to Read labs with the integrated classroom approach of stories and more. Writing to Write is a year-long computer-centered writing program. Its goal is to teach students how to communicate their thoughts to readers in a clear and coherent manner. Writing to Write teaches writing as a process, employing the recognized steps of planning, drafting, editing, revising, and publishing. Each of the 10 units centers on a particular type of writing or writer's problem, ranging from the simplest, what do I see here, to how can I say this so you can see it? From simply stating one's own observations to creating images. The Writing to Write process has 3 major stages. Number 1, setting the scene, introducing concepts, goals, and expectations. Number 2, rehearsing the skill. At the computer, pairs of students cooperatively practicing the pre-writing, planning, and drafting strategies and skills. Number 3, writing on their own. Individual students performing the steps of the writing process independently. Mrs. Doolittle will explain 3 of the workstation areas in Writing to Write.
The computer component of Writing to Write. These children are working on individual drafts and individual planner. And we'll put them in. Individual drafts. And here they have to write describing sentences on the topic that they chose to write in their planner. This is an example of an individual planner that David's working from. And what he has to do is come up with a story from all the information in his planner. You want to tell them what your story's about?
My dog.
Talk it down. Tell them just.
It's my dog.
And what are some things you're going to tell them about your dog?
His ear, his legs, his appetite.
What about
his ear is sticking up, and he has a big appetite.
working on an individual planner, which is the step before the story. Do you want to tell the camera some things that you're writing? What are you writing about?
A snake.
And what are some things you're going to tell about the snake?
How
Tell
sharp,
the camera.
how sharp its fangs are.
What else do you have here? I see something else in here.
They're poison.
Right?
They're poison.
What about his body?
Skinny.
Okay? All right, we'll take you to the work journals.
Okay, let's go. I'm following.
Okay.
Like the car?
And here we have students working on the work journal component. Right now they're on the architecture page, which builds a story with the title, sentence, supporting sentence, and ending sentence. Each page in the work journal gives specific directions on what to do and how to proceed. And these guys are working on a story about animals escaping from a zoo where they have to build the story using describing words. And do you want to tell, let's have each of you tell something that you're working on in the work journal. Okay? Chris, what have you got here? Talk, light some up the camera. Can you tell me something here? What kind of penguin do you have? What? A wet penguin? All right, Peter, what are some describing words you're using in your story? Or you just started? You just started? All right, let's see. All right, let's talk about this too. A make-believe pet. What are some things you have for your make-believe pet? Nice and loud.
Fuzzy and
Cattish? You don't know what that means? All right. How about Lindsay? What are some things you have in yours?
this is a red squid. This is a worm going through an that's a bite, and that's a car.
Okay, and you had to put describing words for these?
Yeah.
So you have a shiny bike, and what's your describing word here?
Clean.
And how about your car? Hot. And how about your worm?
Ugly.
And what about your wig?
Black.
Girl. And what are you working on? What do you have? You have the same pictures? What? No, I know. It tells you what to write. It tells you the red card. I know that. Okay, what do you, let's see some things you have before this. Let's see. What did you do here? What did you have to do here?
You had to write describe I see the brown, soft brown
Okay, great. All right, we'll take you to the rinkers.
What's your name? That's my something else, your nickname. I don't have one.
Okay, at this station we have rinkers, which are activity cards that come with the component. Some of them have to do with art, most of them are writing. It's really a creative, imaginative way for the kids to apply the skill that they're learning in each unit. Since this is an adjective unit using describing words, all of the rinkers, the cards in this unit, have to deal with using describing words on the project. Marissa's doing one on a crazy quilt. Why don't you tell them about your crazy quilt, what you have to do here?
Well, what you have to do is it says, color the quilt. You have to copy it, and I copied it. And then you have to copy the little pictures, and it says to write a note. It says, dear Aunt Cheryl, thank you for the crazy quilt. I really like the gray and white cat, the heart, and then whatever you color it, you write.
So you have to add more describing
Yeah,
things about the quilt. Okay, great. Let's see what Josh is doing. Which rinker are you doing? Which one are you doing? Okay. They're working on a thinking game. They have to write clues about something they're thinking of, and then their partner has to guess. So some of the rinkers you work in pairs, some of them you do individually, and some the whole group might do and come up with one finished project. So I find that the children get excited to do the rinkers the most. I never seem to have enough of them for them to do, and they do them over again with different ideas, and it just, there are no boundaries.
All right, close the door.
Mine was about my brother.
Now this is about your brother, Brianna, and what are you going to tell us? Well, our first sentence has to tell us what the story is about, so can you give us the first sentence?
I love my brother.
All right, but that's not going to help us with what he is. Why don't we use the sample they gave us? My brother is many things. My brother does many things. My brother likes many things. Which one would you like?
My brother can do many things.
All right, why don't you come up and type that in for us?
Dave.
Yes, sure.
I have 3 brothers.
Mrs. DeHaze is presenting a new Writing to Write unit to her class. After this, her students will complete the writing activities in this unit.
I messed it up.
What'd you forget?
Capital. Mom. Capital M-Y. Num. Num, 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 num.
Well, you can leave it. We'll go back and correct it when we get to that. It goes at the end. All right, now go back so we can all see it, Brianna. All right, our story's going to be about what now, Amanda?
My brother.
Dave. All right, we finished now? Is that a good beginning sentence? All right, what are we going to do then?
Sentence with naming again.
Well, what if we're finished? What do we have to do first? Okay, Katie, would you click OK for us?
It's on okay.
Read your first sentence or highlight the sentence. Then, click Talk. Make changes. When finished, press the down arrow key to move to the next part of your paper.
All right, would you put talk on for us, Angel, so we can hear them read our sentence?
Yes, talk.
My brother Dave can do many things.
Okay, is that what we wanted to say? All right, now we're going to use the arrow key to move down to the sentences with naming again words. Tiffany, can you sneak up here to do that? The arrows. Go ahead.
Write sentences that tell about your character by using other names. Use the words you marked on your list.
Okay,
To see examples, click Library.
you can sit down, sweetie.
Should I get my folder just so I can know?
Well, we're going to stop at this point. We're just going to show what we're going to do. Now they're going to ask us to write sentences about Dave that are going to rename him. What are some renaming words? Dave is your...
He's my brother.
What else is he?
He's a soldier.
What else is he?
He's a doctor.
What else is he?
He's a fiance.
Okay, all right. So she has some very good naming again words. They're all going to talk about Dave, but they're going to be different sentences. When she gets done doing her sentences with naming again words, what is she going to do?
Click OK.
These second grade Writing to Write classes spend about an hour each day on the Writing to Write program. Let's listen to a few of Mrs. Dorfer's students read one of their stories.
Adam Austin. Whoops. Things to see at the beach. On the beach, there are many things to see. I saw blue fish. There were people swimming in the water. There were lifeguards watching children. The seagulls were on the sand. There are many things to see on the beach.
Very good. Say your name and then
Erin Canepa. Things at the beach.
show the picture.
On the beach, there are many things to see. I saw rocks and shells. I saw dogs swimming on the beach. There was a starfish in the sand. The bugs were pesky. There are many nice things to see at the beach.
Thank you. While we've only spanned kindergarten through second grade in this portion of the video, the journey does not end here. Students in grades 3 through 12 continue to use computers in a variety of subject-related ways. We hope you enjoyed seeing how teaching and learning with computers in Rocky Point is developing at the Frank J. Carasetti Elementary School. Thank you.